Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Great, that's a good start. Thank you so much to everyone here for having me. I wanted to start today. We'll see if the clicker works. It does. Whew. I'm sure that's nerve-wracking for everyone, but slide 2 might be harder. All right, stand up. Everybody stand up for a second. All right, doesn't that feel good? Okay, now jump around a little. Jump up and down, please. Jump up and down. And now as you do that, everybody jump up and down. Jump up and down. Make eye contact with me. Okay, you can stop. You can stop. So the reason I did that was because I work in the participatory media space, and also because you might listen to me better now. So you can sit down. The point being is that if I was just jumping up and down, that wouldn't be so much fun. But as we are all jumping up and down and making eye contact with each other, that was sort of a collaborative participatory experiment, and I got a great photo of it. And yeah, it's more or less what I work in is something very similar on a much, much larger scale. It's how can I get people all over the world to jump up and down or to express themselves collaboratively. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to get people in every country in the world to do something at the same time. And the reason I can talk about this is because I'm founder of a project called One Day on Earth, and we filmed in every country in the world on the same day. And we made a project out of it. We made a film and we made an online archive. So, a lot of people have asked me, how did you do that? How did that come to be? And I want to talk to you about a few simple ideas that I think, if I can click them forward. First is an accessible idea, something that was easily communicable between people and could be spread very easily. The second would be, that was awesome. I didn't even press the button. The second would be venue. So we created an online space and a website, a place for people to participate in the project, which is really important when you yourself are not going to do everything to make this thing happen. Determination, which is, I can't tell you how many sleepless nights it takes to do something in every country in the world. And last is that we really focused on making a community around the project, not just a production company or a foundation or anything that you're used to thinking about when you do something like this. So first, that accessible idea. That idea that as many people across the world, anyone who wants to, anyone who has a camera or access to a camera or we can send a camera, would film during one day and share that experience and make a movie as well as an online archive. So that was our idea. So we had to do a few things to make this idea marketable, to spread this idea. The first thing I did was choose a date, or one of the first things. And that date was October 10th, 2010. We've done this a few times since, but that day was 10-10-10, which was really just chosen because it was a blank slate holiday. It was something that people would be excited to talk about virally on social media. They were coming up with reasons to participate in one thing or the other. And for us, it just seemed like the perfect day for this participatory experiment. So the second thing we did is we made a very simple, rudimentary website where people could sign up. And we started promoting, emailing people on Vimeo, on Facebook. I think MySpace was even used back then. But remember that? Some of you may. Anyhow, we had a few hundred people around the world, this core group. But we needed something to communicate the essence and emotion of what we were doing, more than just words. So we made a trailer for the film, before the film. And this was made from people who had already said, we're going to collaborate together and make this project. So this is one of the first trailers we made for One Day on Earth, and I want to share it with you.
Everyone should participate in One Day on Earth because we are attempting to create a voice of the world. If you believe in something, If you have one message you could put in the world's time capsule, one story that you can put in the record of history, we hope that you will be inspired and really go out and find it and put it in the capsule, put it in the document, put it in our film. On October 10th, 2010, participants from every country in the world will collectively film the 24-hour period. We ask that you be one of them. Please sign up to participate at www.onedayonearth.org.
So that was the first of many communication pieces and many trailers that we put together to really sort of give the essence of our idea. And so now I want to change gears a little bit and talk about venue. I think of the participatory media space as the venue is really the core. It's the guidelines by which people are rewarded for their participation. It's sort of like the baseball field for the ball players, or the theater for the actors. How many people know what crowdsourcing is in here? Raise your hand. Yeah, a few. So I was really crowdsource is everything we do on the internet. Everything we do, your information and choices are recorded into giant databases, and essentially you are crowdsourcing every time you use any application on your phone or your laptop. And my point of this is that it's passive. But when we're asking people to do something where they're actually going to put things down for a day, and they're actually going to consciously contribute to this crowdsource, we really wanted to think about things more as community produced, because we're asking people to spend more than a day of their time, edit something, and there's really a much more engaging experience. For you to participate in this, there's a value proposition, this idea that you're part of a movement and a film and an archive and all of those things. This isn't the same sort of thing as a typical sort of crowdsourced project. So what we did is we built a social network with a specific purpose, and this is so that everyone could interact and share their experiences. We didn't have a lot of money, but we managed to put together a lot of existing technologies. We partnered with Vimeo. We made sure that basically, this is a lot to look at, so I'll just briefly say, every video that was contributed to the project would be uploaded and hosted on Vimeo, but it would also be hosted on our website and shown on each individual user's page, so that you could be like, what did so-and-so do? Oh, I can message them, I can comment on it. In addition, we were able to export every category and piece of information, tag, description, location, and all those things into individual folders of content to be edited into a film in the edit bay. And most importantly, we also publicly opened up this archive of uploads of data into one geotagged map. So, this is so fun, I don't press the button. This is the One Day on Earth website today, and what I want to show you is that geotag map, because this is sort of a core hub for our community. Each red dot represents a video, the green dots have numbers. As you zoom in, you can see that there's many videos underneath. And basically this is a way where if you saw a video that you liked, you could actually leave a comment, directly communicate with the person. So we built this sort of hub around this idea of participation. You weren't just making a movie, you're making this entire archive of content, and that everyone was accessible to what they actually contributed to that bigger piece, which is incredibly important when you're trying to build momentum behind something where your contribution should mean more than another person if you've contributed more. So, we can go ahead and, everybody following me? You guys still with me out there? This is the individual user's page. It's very much like a white label sort of Facebook, where the video from that person is displayed. So we can keep going. Next, that was our website, and it's evolving today, and we want to do even much more with it. I mean, it's definitely a dedication. So, on to determination. There were many, many sleepless nights with a lot of volunteers that made this happen. It definitely was not just me. There was local producers all over the world who signed up to basically say, yes, I will help deliver this region and make it happen. And the reason that I bring up this determination aspect is that if you're trying to get people not to just tweet about something, not just to like something on Facebook, but actually create something, you have to have human interactions and conversations. And those take a lot more time than just putting up a platform of technology and having people press a couple buttons. We really had to engage and have serious conversations with our participants. So, this is our internal team leading up to that 10-10-10 filming day. So here's where we're at. We're leading up to 10-10-10. We're trying to be in every country in the world. We've got our idea communicated out there. We've got a venue and space that people are pouring into to participate in. We're extremely determined. We're staying up all night. We're hoping this thing's gonna work. But I think there was a tipping point where I knew that this entire loop of information was really sort of working, where we felt that we had a community. And that came really from a surprise, unsolicited video in the middle of the night from South Africa. We'd never met this person before. We never communicated with this person before. But we got this video, and I remember my producer and I kind of like getting teary-eyed and sort of knowing that, yes, we have momentum and wind at our backs. So I want to share that video with you today.
We all have our stories to tell. Look at me. I'm mostly shy and quiet. Often I prefer being alone, completely captured in a world of imagination and ideas. I laugh, I think, I cry. As an African, I fear our land. Corruption, hatred, anger, they are rife here, carried through generations of violence and discrimination. Sometimes people forget we are free. Oh, I have stories to tell. South Africa has stories to tell. We all have our own story. Things happen, memories are created. Imagine looking back at the world 100 years from now. Culture, technology, and society will have changed. But the human spirit, will it have changed? For we as people have lost the very thing that makes us human. I can't answer that. That's a story for another world. I'm Michael Stribich, and I'm an African. What's your story?
So at that moment, I knew that we were actually building a community, that people were taking the idea that I originally started with and put out there and making it their own. And that's really the sort of momentum that was required in order to do this project, that people had to take this idea and claim ownership over it. An interesting aside about Michael is that, so when Michael filmed for 10-10-10, he filmed for as part of an environmental organization's event that was planting a garden in Cape Town, South Africa. And he did this incredible poetic voiceover like he did, and he talked about what it meant to them and what they were building. And then so the heads of this organization in Washington, D.C. eventually saw the video, and they were blown away, and they loved it, and they said, we want to hire this guy to do our future videos. So they hired him on the spot, and they said, we have this presentation to do to Congress. Can you make us a video? So we go, great, and we connect them, it happens, it's going, suddenly we get a call from 350.org, they're like, can you get a hold of Michael? And we're like, no, what's going on? We're like, we can't get a hold of them. We're freaking out. We have two senators coming in tomorrow, and we have to talk to them. We have to show them this video. And we're like, we tried calling, nothing happened. We get a call the next day from 350, like, it all worked out. The video's great. It worked fine. By the way, do you know how old Michael is?
Yeah.
And we're like, no. And he's like, well, he was at his prom. So it was a really exciting moment for us from the point of view of that we were actually finding these people around the world and inspiring that are your age, that are really the future storytellers and participating in a level that was mind-blowing and really impressing everyone up to world leaders. So to carry back on with my talk is that we have a community now all over the world. We have over 35,000 people. That includes filmmakers, students in schools and educators, and nonprofit organizations, which kind of brings me to my last point about how this was actually possible. So you want to do something in every country in the world. You've got this killer internet project going, but there's one big problem in the midst of all that, which is that not everybody in the world has great internet. So if you look at these green countries, some of them are easier to get to than others, but a lot of them are either economically challenged or have governments that prevent any sort of adequate use of the internet, or maybe they're just isolated out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's really just an issue, which is economics again. But my point is that in order to be in these countries, we had to forge a lot of relationships within our community, a lot of nonprofit relationships, which kind of brings me to my last point, which is that there was really no way to do something in every country in the world, even with a lot of money, unless you're doing something that is actually potentially benefiting every country in the world, which was a great epiphany in the process. So a lot of our filmmakers and a lot of this project people started thinking this as a donation to tell a story that meant something about a specific community that normally wouldn't have had their story told. We spent so much of our time reaching those countries, and the rest of the world just came along with us to help. We did very little outreach in the first world. It all became the undeveloped world. So that eventually led to over 100 nonprofit partnerships that we have today. Many of them who we've been able to send several thousand cameras around the world to help film. So to wrap everything up, the real heart of this whole thing is that if you have an idea that was never before possible, that could be achieved as a community and as a group, as a movement, as a technological hub online, now is the time. We live in an incredibly exciting time. One day on Earth could have not happened 20 years ago. It would have been completely impossible. The fact of the matter is that all of you have incredible access to do things that people wouldn't even dreamed of. Most people thought we were totally crazy and didn't even believe that it was going to happen when it did happen. And I think that, this idea, though, that you're going to do something that wasn't possible before is something I want you guys to carry with you. Because now you can actually face challenges in a community group level by utilizing a lot of people together that no one has ever been able to do before. So on that notion, I want to share with you the trailer for our first film and a couple videos.
Il était une fois fin. Ça y est.
Pas une histoire plus longue.
Si, bien sûr que si.
عشقونی که 4 تامو بشنون یا ببینن یه درس عبرتی بشه. Action.
So we have a little more time, and I just want to show you guys a couple more videos about where we're going from here. So, we already filmed 11/11, and we're deep in post-production on that. We're retrieving videos from 12/12/12, and then we're also having these incredible local projects sprouting up across the world. There's organically been a one day in Canada, a one day in Kyoto, a one day in Jackson Hole, a one day in Venice, and hopefully even a one day in Los Angeles soon. So, as you can see, this is part of our plan. This is the trailer for One Day in Los Angeles.
For over 100 years, films have been made in and about Los Angeles, but has the real story of the city been told? If you had one day to document what Los Angeles needs to change by 2050, what would you film? We are one of the greatest cities in the world, with vast diversity and creative power. Yet we are faced with challenges that will only be overcome with engaged individuals, communities, and leaders. How do we make a better Los Angeles by 2050? We propose a one-day participatory filmmaking event open to anyone in Los Angeles. Together, we will create a geotagged video archive with hundreds of films made across the city for the city. We ask for your support to start a movement and create a document of Los Angeles that will authentically inform our future together.
Thank you all so much for your time. If you're interested in future filming events, please visit our website, www.onedayonearth.org. And if you want to see the first film, it's on iTunes and DVD.